The drop shot is arguably one of the most important shots in the entire game of pickleball. But you'll know if you've played pickleball before, it's one of the hardest to hit.
In this video, we're gonna go over the most common mistakes people make when hitting their drop shot and how to fix them.
Let's get into it.
First, let's talk about the goal of the drop shot. Now remember, most likely you've just served, your opponents have returned, and you're gonna try to drop the ball to advance to the kitchen. If your opponents know what they're doing, they're standing at the kitchen line. And so the point of a drop is to hit an unattackable shot that starts to dip below the net that will allow you and your partner to advance, knowing that your opponents can't do much damage with that ball. So a drop shot's not necessarily a shot that has to land in the kitchen. What it is though is a ball that your opponents have to hit up on, okay? So when you're hitting this shot, remember, the worst type of drop shot is into the net. Give yourself a little bit of margin and realize that all the drop shot is an unattackable ball that will allow you and your partner to advance. And remember, the kitchen line is the best place to be. You want to play most of the point at the kitchen line if possible.
This first mistake is probably the most important when it comes to hitting a successful drop shot, but it's also the most overlooked. And it has to do with where you're standing. Now, before you click off, everybody's so worried about the paddle swing and what to do with the paddle, but the reality is, if you're not in the correct position when you're hitting that drop shot, you can do everything right with the paddle and still not hit a successful drop shot. So the biggest things to remember when it comes to body positioning is to make sure that you're contacting that ball in front of your body. Something that's gonna really help you is understanding that the moment your opponents hit their return, you should be moving your feet in anticipation of where that ball is gonna go. That way, when the ball gets to you, you're balanced and you have space to hit it in front of you. A quick tip here is to utilize your opposite arm if you are wondering where to stand and make sure that ball doesn't jam into you. That's gonna really help you get in the correct position when hitting a drop shot.
So the next mistake we want to go over when it comes to hitting a drop is you want to make sure you don't have too big of a backswing. I see way too many people that have way too much action behind their body. It creates a lot of inconsistency and it's just unneeded, unnecessary movement. Instead, make your swing nice and compact. There's a concept I talk about often in pickleball called zero forward. It can apply to a lot of different areas on the court, but what this simply means is if I pull my paddle back, this is negative space. If I push my paddle forward, this is positive space. When hitting a drop shot, you really want to get to zero and go forward. There's really no reason to pull the paddle back into negative space. So remember, a compact swing is key and eliminate that big backswing for more consistency on your drop shot.
This mistake isn't often talked about, but I guarantee you that all of your high-level pickleball friends know about this secret, and it's when to contact the ball. Did you know that there's actually strategic timing with this? A lot of people think that the moment you want to hit that ball with your paddle is after that ball bounces and it gets to the highest point of the arc after the bounce. But the thing is, the best time isn't to hit it at the highest point, but as it starts to dip and decelerate down. The reason is that that ball isn't continuing to jump into your body, so it's easier to time with your spacing, and because it's decelerating, it's way easier to manipulate the shape of the ball.
The next mistake that's common amongst beginners or people that just struggle with their drop shot is they often make contact on their back foot or their weight is pushing them backwards. Instead, what you want to make sure you do is you want to make sure that you step forward with your opposite foot, the opposite side from your paddle, and you want to make sure your weight is forward on your front foot when hitting this shot. Remember, a lot of this shot doesn't have a swing, so you're generating momentum from your legs. So if you're not forward and you're back, you're gonna pop that ball up or it's not gonna make it there. So remember, weight on that front foot as opposed to the back foot, and your opposite foot is key. You don't wanna be like this.
If you've ever hit a drop shot that pops up way too high, then this next mistake might be the culprit, and it has to do with your follow through. Now, when I see drop shots that pop up really high, one of the most common mistakes that people are making to make that happen is their follow through is up and their paddle face is open facing the sky. That's what's carrying that ball way up. Now, something that has really helped me mitigate this is thinking about when you're contacting that ball that you're hitting 2 balls in front of it. So that way, that's gonna help direct your follow through to be forward instead of up. So think every time that you're contacting that ball on your drop shot, you're hitting 1 ball, 2 ball, and then let your follow through take you forward rather than up. That's gonna keep your drop shot from popping way up.
The next mistake I see from beginner to intermediate all the way up to advanced, and it drives me crazy, and that's way too many people flirt with the net, meaning they try to hit this perfect shot that just barely goes over the net for a winner. But you really don't need to do that when you're hitting a drop. Instead, give yourself some margin. Give yourself, a good foot or 2 above the net. Remember, if you don't hit a perfect drop, it's okay. You'll have another chance, but the worst thing you can do is dump the ball into the net.
One of the biggest misconceptions about hitting a successful drop shot is people thinking that it needs to land in the kitchen. They think the shallower, the better. But the reality is you can hit a shallow drop shot, and if it bounces high, you can still attack it if you're the opponent. So don't get married to hitting a shallow ball. That's not what a successful drop shot is. A successful drop shot is gonna be any ball that forces your opponent to hit up on it, meaning that it's arcing down below the net level so that your opponents have to hit up on it. So reframe it in your mind. Good drop shots don't have to land in the kitchen. They make your opponent have to hit up. Now I'm going to teach you a drill where you can put everything into practice, and this is called the up-down drill. So how it's going to work is whoever's practicing their drop shots is going to start at the baseline. You're going to have your partner at the kitchen line. They can be cross court or straight ahead. It's up to whatever you want to practice. So how it's going to work is you're going to have your partner feed the ball to the baseline, simulating a return, and you are responsible for only hitting drop shot. Now, as the drop shots go over the net, your partner who's receiving the drop is going to say up or down, meaning they're either hitting up on the ball or down on the ball. Now you keep hitting drop shots until you get 3 up drop shots, meaning 3 successful drop shots. After that, you're able to work your way into the kitchen and play the point out. So now I can move in, and now we play the point out. Once you've successfully done it, go ahead and switch with your partner so they get a chance. First person to get 7 successful workups to the kitchen and win the rally wins. Thanks so much for watching this video, and make sure you like and subscribe to the PlayPickleball.com YouTube channel.
And as we mentioned in the beginning of the video, we're giving away $1,000 worth of Selkirk store credit, split evenly between 5 lucky winners. To enter, click this link. You can also find this link in the description below. We'll see you on the next one.